like when I was at college, like garage was really getting huge, and like it was just mad the number of things that would come through, especially like there was the MC Neat stuff that would come through where he'd be like hosting all of these different mixtapes. And you'd hear all these remixes and just be like, what is this?
Yeah.
You know, like there was like the Casey and JoJo garage remixes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like all of the crazy stuff that was coming out. And like some of the producers from that, like MJ Cole, you listen to that stuff and just think, damn.
When I heard,
like,
I haven't heard. I probably have heard of MJ Cole, like not a project, but like tunes.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't know the name of him.
Yeah.
No, never noticed his name or whatever. But shout out to So Solid as well. Actually, they just did a performance, an anniversary performance, I believe.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, and they brought like bare people like Oxide Neutrino and is it Oxide?
Oxide Neutrino. Yeah.
I don't know if they brought him out. I forgot because Lisa Mafia couldn't go because obviously because of the whole predicament right now. She's there's a possibility of her having she's on quarantine right now, but she would have been there and performing as well, and everyone was just gassed. I was seeing some footage yesterday, I think yesterday or today,
because that was in the area that they all grew up as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, there was a big build around that.
They're from South.
Yeah.
South London, right?
Yeah.
South London. Yeah. Some I believe some are from East or some are from South, but it's around those two boroughs. I don't know anyone from North. Are they from? Is there anyone from North in that group?
I'm not sure, man.
I'm not sure, but I know South and East, they have their ties there. So I'm not too sure, too tough like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm so sorry. I'm not educated and so solid like that. I'm so sorry. But speaking of Dilla, actually, I'm a big fan of Dilla.
Yeah.
Me and Dilla almost like are close in birthday.
Oh really?
Yeah. So
when's your birthday?
7th.
Ah, nice. So you're really close.
Yeah. So because obviously there are Dilla parties that I've heard of just recently, and they're in London as well, to help out with I believe funding for the like Dilla foundations and charities.
So that's something I did. So like there's a few things, man. So there's the James Stewart Yancey Foundation.
That's the one.
So like it used to be the Dilla Foundation, but it's run by Marjukes, like Dilla's mum. But I mean they've had some crazy stuff like over estate things and legal things for years and years and years.
Facts.
But yeah, man. I mean like I love Dilla's stuff, and I've released this album, The Timeless Tribute, and it's officially raising money for them as well, which is it's crazy. Like I mean it took 7 years to make this happen, and but I'm so happy I did. Like I'm so happy I persevered with it.
I'm gonna assume you had to do some legal stuff with that because
well to a degree. So I mean basically the album
because with contracts, especially paying labels and for sampling maybe or artists.
So with that project, basically the whole album is taken from Sweet for Marjukes, which was created by Miguel Atwood Ferguson. So like it was this beautiful classical tribute to Dilla that was like years ago now, like a decade ago. And I loved it. When I heard it, it was like all of the artists that had worked with Dilla were coming out. So there was like Della Soul and Talib Kweli and Dwele and Illa J and all of these guys.
Illa J, woo!
So like they were all coming out and like just celebrating Dilla because like he was classically trained too, and
that's what a lot of people are still confused on.
Yeah,
how is my man classically trained?
It was
he
amazing.
Was creating crazy like Fall in Love donuts like. Oh my god! Like Dilla's. Yeah. Like he had to when he was in a hospital bed, he was making beats.
Yeah.
When I heard that story, I said, "Fuck off." I said, "No, this guy is just a genius." And I was just, and every time my birthday would come, I always remember Dilla.
Yeah.
I'd always because I found a playlist just full of Dilla beats, Dilla songs, and I was just like, "Yo," I'd play it whole week. I'd play it just like even from the start of his birthday to like mine, like close.
Yeah,
At least play that once. I have to play it at least once, like
course,
just
man.
out of, not just out of respect, but just as a fan of,
Yeah, has that connection.
yeah, production as well. Like I'm a big fan of production. That's why I'm a fan of I'm like a fan of Pharrell, Timbaland, Ryan Leslie,
Yeah,
Robert Glasper, there's so many other producers that I'm a fan of, like,
yeah, for
and
sure.
like UK as well. Obviously, there's a lot of like J5, TSB, like the young guys that are coming
Yeah.
up. Jay Huss has obviously produced an incredible album, which I don't know if you've listened to.
Yeah,
Because he's got a lot of influence of old school on that.
Yeah, which is nice to hear, man. I mean, it's good. It kind of, it's weird with this. Obviously, like the scenes always change and they mature and turn into different things, and it's like it feels like until a couple of years ago, I felt quite distanced from what was coming out of the UK. Where like it, that time when grime was coming out, I was working with a lot of kids around then, and they were really excited about it, and just I was in it and I got it. But I think like now, I didn't really feel that same connection to quite a lot of the artists who were coming through. But I think like more recently, it feels like there are artists where they're reconnecting, and you can see that they've got more of a love of music, and they actually understand stuff. You know, because like you hear some of the youngins who are coming out where they're like, oh, you know, I just listen to hip hop. Or not even that. They're like, I listen to rap. I don't listen to hip hop. And it's like that statement in itself makes no sense. Like, it's like, you know, rap is an element of a hip hop community. Like, it's
facts.
One of the pillars. You know, like, it's
not just one of the pillars. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me.
Yeah, you can't extricate that from that and say I only listen to that and not that. It's like that is that. But like it feels like it's starting to blend a bit more, where people are getting it a bit more. And I think like there's artists like Loyal Kana and people like buying
Loyal Kana is underrated. Like I got into him like literally just last year. As his recent project I got to listen to, and it's incredible, and I went to go back because I was doing a bit of research of his story, and he was like, he's got his own culinary school, he's got his own.
Yeah, man, he's an awesome guy.
I would love to have a conversation with him.
I've known Ben for a few years, and like I've interviewed him for Wordplay as well, and like he's just a really lovely guy, and I think the thing is because like he's stayed grounded and he's got his team around him and his friends, and they're
close knit.
Yeah, and I mean like he's been building up with people like Rebel Clef, like one of his producers, and his manager Tomo's been going through with him, and like they're family. They're family, building in that way, and it's remained grounded. Definitely. And I think the idea, like you say with a culinary school, the idea that he has ADHD and he's put himself in this position to be able to say, you know what? I've got this. Don't shy away from it. Let's celebrate it. Let's make it amazing.
Make it cool.
Yeah.
Make different. Be cool.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the title of this episode. That is the fucking title of this episode right now. Make different. Be cool.
Yeah,
that's it. That's a fact.
It's important, man. I think that's the thing. Is it feels like of course, social media is what it is, but I think now that even that in itself is maturing, like people are starting to think, you know what, forget it. I'm just gonna be myself, and if people accept it or not, so what? Like, and it's really nice to see that there's that kind of that element of new energy with it, where people aren't as scared, and they might be trying to still promote in a certain way, and of course there might be certain things that are behind it, but at the same time it feels like artists are being more genuine. And to see people like Rag and Bone, man, it's like I remember him from like when there used to be Boom Bap Festival. Like this wasn't long ago. This was like 5-6 years ago. He was on stages where 10-15 people would be there, and people would just be drifting off, and they'd be like, "Yeah, whatever, man, it's him." And like now he's smashing it.
He's killing it.
But what I love about those kind of artists is that their roots are still there. Like he will still go and do gigs with High Focus, or he'll still go and do a jam with different artists, or like he'll feature on whatever he can.
Yeah.
And the next album he's working on is like roots influenced, and it's like
that would be cold.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
That's the
Roots.
thing. Yeah.
That is cold.
No, it's gonna be
I'm a
amazing.
big fan of Quest. Like,
Yeah.
that whole era of Roots is just like the fact that when I found out they never even was big in the US until they came to the UK, got big here, and then went back. That alone self, US was trash. Like that's mad. But
like I've been reading Questlove's books, like Mo Meta Blues and Creative Quest, and
I would love to read one of them.
They're really good reads, man, and it is crazy hearing about their journey.
Yeah,
you know, and like just hearing how these artists were just they were pained and no one was recognizing them, and they were jumping from label to label, and you know, you just think, like, you listen to it and just think, you're the Roots.
Yeah,
like you're next level with this, and really, like,
and you go on Jimmy Fallon and just kill it every time as well. Like, is it Jimmy Fallon? It's Jimmy. Every time I see them, I'm like, why are you there? You are the Roots. Like, you should be doing madness right now.
But I think that's the thing, from like the way that they write about it, for them, like that's the dream job, in the sense that they have secure incomes, but then they have access to all these incredible musicians who come on the show. So like their last few albums, they worked with so many artists, because they're getting access to different genres, and also for them it's playtime on a daily basis, because they're being told, right, play ska, play folk, play rock, play pop. And like that's why I love Quest. They have to think on. I just love Quest, because I think Questlove, he's also a DJ. So when I was watching, for some reason I was watching a lot of DJ stuff, like at one point about Serato. Serato is if people don't know, Serato is a DJ software you can get on your computers and laptops and stuff like that. And I believe he was sponsored by them to do a few videos and stuff like that. And he was literally saying that his time frame of music is so crazy. It starts from like maybe like 1950s, 60s, maybe even early 1900s. Like, his music not catalog, but like storage is from that time till now. I said, fuck off. Like, it's just, I have so much admiration for a man like that has knowledge of that type of music in different genres, and still able to conduct a group like the Roots, and be a certain type of face as well. Because when you think of Roots, you think of Quest. So to this day, I'm just like, I have so much admiration. I would like to have a conversation with that guy. Yeah, same.
That would be incredible.
I remember when I first met the editor for Wordplay, like Nev. He's one of the 5 original guys who started a magazine, and like we were both having early chats and saying, if we get an interview with Quest, magazine's done. Like, that's it. That's like the
final issue done.
Yeah, I mean, like, we're both obsessed with him, like to the point where he's got like the Roots Christmas jumpers and everything, and it's like,
I need to find one for Christmas this year.
They're amazing.
I need to find that shit.
Yeah, I think the thing is, like, with those guys, that they're like the pinnacle of how to do hip hop properly in that sense.
And that's the same era as Dilla. Like, that era there of Questlove, Dilla. Then you have people like Talib and around that area, and then you have, like, obviously I think Big Pun was in that era, and then you had KRS-One in that era. You had Big L. You had New York. That New York area was just.
But that's the thing, isn't it? Mad. It's like all of that stuff that was coming out, you know, like when you look at those different groups, I mean, even people like Q-Tip, the stuff that...
Q, I forgot about Q, man.
Yeah, but like, you know, the stuff that not only he was doing for Tribe, but just also himself and the different artists he was working with. And,
as well, and also...
things like all the Lucy Pearl stuff and everything.
And also him becoming an actor confused me. Confused me to this day.
Well, it's the same with Mos Def, isn't it? Where it's like... It's crazy seeing
Mos Def as well. I was like,
But
the thing is, with Q-Tip, he didn't really go into film like that compared to Mos Def. Mos Def went to acting,
all in.
all in. And when I was watching, I was like, raw.
He actually really suits it.
He suits
Like,
him.
I remember watching him in Brown Sugar. I was like, hey, it's Mos Def. And it was just like this kind of bit part to a certain degree. But like, he was great.
The weirdest thing is he just walks around.
Yeah.
He's all over the world. Like, apparently he's mostly in Paris just walking around.
Yeah.
Or in London. Like,
he's really nomadic, isn't he? But I guess that's the thing.
That's his piece. I think that's his piece. Like, he's just, I think everyone knows if you put him in front of a mic, he's barring.
Yeah.
And then if you put him in a film and he loves that film, he's on it.
Yeah.
So I think that's his piece. Like, he could do what he wants now. It's the same with Andre 3000. Like, I would love to hear a 3 Stacks tune. I would love to hear a 3 Stacks album right now, or an EP or something, because I'm tired of these features that he's doing. I just want him and Big Boy to bring up another Outkast album. Like, I just want classics. I just want a classic now.
I'm tired. Weird when that happened, wasn't it? Because it was.
They were never announced it.
It was so like sort of mature and subtle. There was no silliness. There was no there's this. It just they made that weird kind of country album where there was like the 2 CDs on it, or like the 2 discs.
Yeah, Hey and Love, yeah.
And then it was like, okay, we made this, we're done. It's like what?
But that album, that double-sided album is, you got Hey Ya, and then you've got flipping other stuff, and I'm just looking at it raw.
Yeah.
And then you look at the back catalogue as well. It's just...
Quimini, man.
Like, and then there's other people. There's so many others, but
yeah.
Are there any features on the project?
Loads. Yes. I mean, there's artists from around the world, man. So I mean, this is part of the reason it took so long, was trying to get the right people on it. So I mean, it all started with Donny Numeric, who's like a London MC. Like, we've got a group called Delegates of Rhyme that we've done on and off for years, but then it built from there. So there's a lot of musicianship, like there's live instrumentation on quite a lot of the tracks. So there's like live bass, drums, keys, sax, violin, all sorts of things. So Greg Blackman, who's an amazing singer and like multi-instrumentalist, like he got involved in stuff. And then from there was this, so I reached out to DJ Target's notice board like years ago and was like, look, I'm creating this J Dilla tribute, looking for people to get involved. And these New York producers like Syed the Zulu got hold of me, and he was like, I'm a Dilla head through and through, we need to link. So he started creating like a few bass lines and bits and bobs from there, and then it just built. So like I contacted different friends I got like in different places. So like I had, not long after I started that project, I met a guy called Toddler MC, who's a Australian MC. So like he started working on a track and got one of his friends involved. And then there was a Dutch MC called Riskant. So he was like, look, I really, really want to get involved in this. And like, yeah, of course, man, that's fine. And like then it was that kind of element where there was different people bringing different people in, which was really nice. It was this kind of collective vibe.
Makes it easier.
And then so it kind of, but it was just really interesting seeing how it worked, because it was really organic. But it's crazy because it's like, you know, I mean I love all elements of hip hop, and like it's kind of turned out where there's actually a really nice balance between like male and female MCs as well. But it wasn't a conscious thing. It just kind of built that way. So
it happened. It just happened naturally. Yeah.
So it's got like Jazz Kahina on there. So like she then brought in Nutty P, and
UK as well.
Yeah. So they're UK, and then like there's this MC called J Double who's based in New Orleans, and like he's a massive like comic book head, but he's made projects as tribute to Dilla before, like taken some of the Donuts beats and like chopped those and done stuff. So like, got him, and then like
look at my playlist again.
Yeah, but like there's a whole bunch of artists on there where so like there's a MC from the Isle of Wight called Joe Public, and just I love that about it. You know, like it's I really wanted to pull together different artists who wouldn't necessarily be on records together otherwise. You know, there's been this really lovely thing where Brother Man, who I've always loved Brother Man stuff, you know, and he moved to Spain a few years ago, but like I did a listening party down in London at Chip Shop in Brixton on the 8th of February, and he just seeing how people came together for that. So like he took a flight all the way from Spain just to perform at that and try and celebrate that album alongside Donny Numeric and Nutty P and Jazz Kahina, and
just everybody that can come and just vibe like and just celebrate Dilla like.
But I mean, one of the crazy ones was like, so there was this. So when I was first starting out doing the album, like I really wanted to make sure that like there was elements of Dilla where Dilla heads could listen to it and be like, that's that Dilla snare, or oh, that's that reverb effect, or oh, that little sound there is this, that, and the other, and kind of really linking into it.
Cold.
And I was like rooting around every platform I could find, including YouTube, and I found this Brazilian percussionist and drummer called Nuff, and he'd covered "Fall in Love." And like the one track on the entire album, which I love "Fall in Love." It's one of my favorite. So when you were saying about my daughter, I can never play that track in the car. So like, because what they're talking about is not the right points. So I'd always set out to make my own version of that, and that track is the only one where it's a straight cover of what Dilla did, but then with my own reworkings on it. So like I've got this American MC called Jack Jones or Odyssey on it. And then this guy, Nuff, he made his own version of the drums from that. Doesn't speak a word of English, but I somehow managed to track him down through Facebook. He lives in Brazil. And like we got talking. I was using Google Translate, sending out messages.
Sick.
And he was like, "You're creating a Dilla project?" He's like, "Yes, down 100%. So like he sent me over these stems of the drums. So the outro to "Fall in Love," like the bit where there's like the live drums and they're freestyling at the end, I've made a live version of that where like I'm playing live bass. He sent me these drums from all over the other side of the world, got the Odyssey freestyling on it. And it's like those kind of moments, man, where like when some of those bits happen really late on, and it's like, man, this is great, and like just my friend the Lassic, who's a saxophonist, like he got involved maybe about a year or so before the project dropped, and just trying to help me to shape it and get the interludes right, and just trying to add those final like little bits of seasoning to pull it all together. But dude, I mean, it's been crazy like since it dropped. Just artists that I really respect like bugging out because they've got my vinyl. And having all these different
you
DJs.
even put it on vinyl?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So like that. I mean, I love vinyls. Like they're my thing. Like I've got all of my family's vinyls, from like my grandparents to my parents, everybody.
James is gonna be watching or listening to this. Them vinyls over there, that's all his. Listen, there's like a Kendrick vinyl in there. There's so many good vinyls in there.
I had to take a dig, man.
Yeah, take a little dig later, but
yeah, like
incredible.
I wanted to add to that, just so HHV, who are based in Berlin, like their shop is like famous for vinyls, and like they're the ones who kind of they're the biggest distributor in Europe, but they also work with Fat Beats in America. And Good to Go
heard of
as
Fat
well.
Beats for some reason.
Fat Beats like were the one, man. So like they around like the 90s, like they were the place to go. Like and
for the records, yeah.
Yeah, but also like they did loads of nights. So like they had a lot of the artists would come through there. They had a shop in Holland and various other places. So like they were the one, and their label was always mad respected. And I've not only got a vinyl, but it's also on HHV. It's officially supporting the James Stewart Yancey Foundation, and it's being dropped by Fat Beats, and all of these crazy things where it's like so Miguel Atwood Ferguson, when you're saying about legal stuff, like he's given permission for me to use that project so that I can rework it. And like so basically, I mean, literally all the profit from this album goes to the James Stewart Yancey Foundation, and like those guys do music work within their community, like across America, but they also work with different AIDS charities. So like so at the moment, like they're in South America and they're helping with like earthquake survivors. They're doing so many things, and the idea that I've got a record that's hip hop, in my own way as well, in a way that feels true to me, that can then in turn help people's lives. That feels amazing, because it's like I say, man, I mean, my my career has been about helping young people, but the idea that my music can extend to that feels amazing, and I feel really humbled by the response I've had from people, where like the things that people are saying and the emotional impact it's had on people, and it's like that really means something. Because if anything, I was just fretting the idea of making a Dilla tribute and then people being like, this ain't Dilla, this isn't that, what did you do to those drums? But like it's taken so long to make those details right, but I kind of feel like, yeah, of course, I'm a producer,
only right, man.
Like there's always got to be bits where it's like, oh, I could have done this, I could have done that, but I knew I wanted to release it on Dilla's birthday. That was always the thing. But because that was the thing, it meant that every single point that I'd get to February is like, no, it's not ready yet, this needs to get sorted. But it all came together, and there was this crazy week where the foundation said, yeah, cool, good to go, let's do this. Then Miguel's manager was like, yep, cool, as long as they're good, that's fine. Then HHV were like, yep, okay, so you got the rights sorted, that's fine. And then I spoke to Andy Kettle, who's been the guy who's been helping with promotion for me, and he was like, project sounds great, let's sort something. And within 1 week, this project that at that point I've been working on for 6.5 years all came together. Everyone had said yes. It was like, this is real, this is happening. And I know the exact date it's being launched because that's Dilla's birthday.
Yeah.
And like, it was mental, man. Yeah. It was just like this moment where it was like,
Dilla,
I remember calling my wife and just being like, Sam, it's happening. And like,
I've got the deal done. Yeah. The album will be out at this time.
It was crazy.
Bear retweets, like send the link out to all the family members.
But dude, it was crazy because not only like when I got the email confirmation from the foundation as well, not only were they saying that, at the time they were like, listen, we want to get you down to Detroit, like we want to get you involved in that, like we want to get you to meet we'll try and get the other chapters involved. And like that bit couldn't happen in terms of funding in the end, but like the idea that they're there saying, yes, we believe in this and we want to get you involved in this.
There are so many hip-hop heads now listening to this that are fans of Dilla, fans of old school hip-hop from New York, Detroit, LA, everywhere in this world are gonna be like, Dilla project tribute, I'm on it, I want to listen now. So
and it's been amazing, man. And I mean, like, one of the things as well is like with Spotify, I know like so many artists get it where I've been plugging away at Spotify ever since it came out, like just trying to figure out how it works. And a few years ago they set it up so that then you could start submitting to the curators, and like nothing happens, man. And you just get to this point where it's like, oh, forget this, I can't be bothered. And then the first single that I dropped with this album, it got picked up by Jazz Rap on Spotify. Oh. And then I went from like 10-15 plays of previous tracks a day to like 1,000 a day. It was like, what's going on? And and it continues. And like, and it's, my songs have gone from having maybe like collectively 20-30 playlists that they're attached to like 400. It's like, what's going on?
That's
but like
cold.
It's amazing though, because it just, I'm really proud of this project, and like I kind of feel like, okay, now that I've got over this is like the biggest step I could have got over. This is the scariest project, like that whole kind of eating the elephant thing, like, it's like, okay, I've done that now, I'm not as scared about it. But all that said, my hard drive crashed out on Monday, so currently I don't have it, and all of my music is on there, so I'm like fretting, and it's currently in Holland, and with all this stuff going on, it's like, man, I really need this hard drive to come back and work.
You need to get like, you need to get it like literally like fixed soon. At least get all the stuff out there to a different hard drive, please.
Exactly, man. It's just crazy because it's like I just need to get that stuff sorted, man. But it's good. It feels really positive, and it's like within the space of a month, it's like I had my first play that I produced music for, where that was based on like the Windrush saga and kind of racial political angles as a whole, which was just so incredible.
That's nice to hear as well. We in media as well. a lot of people are talking about the Windrush scandal.
Yeah,
As of recently.
No, definitely, man. And it was amazing to be part of something like that. So to like have that and have this album come out, and then at the same time do another one of these Amplify events for Yui, and it was kind of all these crazy things all culminated into 1 month. It was like, this is some crazy month.
That's cold.
But, you know, like it feels like now that it's done, it's like this springboard effect where it's like I've got another play to work on. I'm working with lots of new artists that I've had access to off the back of this album, because it's a great calling card, man. It's a case of,
it's a good
hey,
little
I've
hi.
this. Yeah,
it's like, look at me,
yeah,
I'm here.
It's
Hi.
like, look, I love your music. Like, can we talk now?
Can we have a little chit chat?
Yeah,
Hi.
for sure.
But yeah, that's dope, man.
But it's great, dope, man.
Just to hear, like, just obviously we gotta wrap up, but it's just a great kind of like thing to hear, like something that took so long to prepare for, and the realization of it happening, and it's not like you're benefiting off it so soon, but like you could see certain lanes now, like when you're like in a one-way street, and then you're like you go to this little junction, but this junction's got loads of other routes that you want to discover. Sure. So when you come back round, you got another one to discover. You got like there's so many other lanes now.
It's
so
mad, man.
That's a great thing to hear. But before we go, your favorite Dilla tunes?
Ah, man,
favorite Dilla tunes, like.
So there's one track that I really love. So it's Sun on My Face, which was part of the J Love's Japan album. But the thing is that, so the crazy thing with that album is that they dropped it in 2007, and that track had Blue on it and John Tell, and I love Blue. He's one of my favorite MCs. And then the rework that they dropped, which I think was like 2016 or something, didn't have that track. They replaced it, and like they had other things on there instead. So like it only exists in vinyl form and on YouTube, and I think there's like someone who's released it on Soundcloud, and it's like, how is this track not out there more? Like, but I love that. But also, like, I love Tribe Called Quest once again, because like that was the first album that Dilla got involved with those guys, and that track flipped how Tribe worked. And it flipped everything, man. You know, I mean, realistically, like Dilla, alongside the Soulquarians, created the whole neo soul sound, but like that
neo soul is one of my favorite genres of all time as well. Neo soul is just, there's so many artists that I could ring off of that sound, like a Music Soul Child. There's obviously you can class Marshall Ambrosius, but Flowetry was kind of neo soul.
Definitely.
There's so many others like that have, like obviously Sade, Erykah Badu, is, I wouldn't class them as neo soul, but you kind of can.
But I mean,
they're in that lane.
It's like Erykah Badu was, in the sense that she was part of that thing that was
Fugees, Lauryn Hill, like crazy.
It's mad, but it's like that stuff is brilliant. But you know, I love that track. Love Once Again. You know, I like there's a Dilla beat called Life that I love.
I think that's on this playlist.
That's amazing. I think the thing is that because I love, like we've been talking about, man, like I love that soulful and that jazz element, and like when that really kicks in, you know what I mean? But then also just like straight head nodders, like Far Side Drop. Like that. I remember when I saw that video, I was like, what is this? What am I watching and what am I listening to? Everything is backwards.
There are so many,
but like
so many Dilla tunes.
But just the drums. Like, I mean, you know, obviously there's the Dilla drums, but like that track, All Out, was like, this is madness.
If you've been this far of the episode, please listen to these tunes, because this is mad. Like, we even forgot Common. Common has
there's Water for Chocolate, like just another level.
Common has got tunes. The fact that people just are like, how is this Common's like, not the people like Common's an MC. Common is an MC and he's got Dilla tunes. Like, that's how far this guy has been writing. So it's like, it's mad.
Man. But I think that's the thing. It's stuff like that where, you know,
There's
I really like that era, but I
E
mean,
E equals MC squared.
yeah,
Like, come on, come on, bro.
and so far to go as well. Like, but
so far to go with D'Angelo.
Yeah.
There's the Madlib tune, Baby. There's
but the J-Lib album as a whole, man, like the Red is just nuts. I hadn't heard that track as a I'd only heard the instrumental for like 5-6 years. I didn't even know lyrics existed for it. Like, it was one of those ones where like one of my friends played me that beat, and like I listened to that beat as like a pretty much a wake up call on a daily basis. I loved it. Like, I just didn't know like where it was rooted from or anything, and then I ended up hearing a J-Lib album. I was like, what? Where's this coming from? Like,
there's so many other tunes, man. There's so many, like,
but I mean, it's
Lost Donut of the Night,
for sure.
Crushing,
but I think
The Far Side drop, like.
But I think that's the thing with him, is like it's his contributions to things. So, you know, the elements that he was doing for D'Angelo, or the elements that he was doing for Black Star.
Let's put respect on D'Angelo's name. Like, come on, like, oh,
he's incredible.
Untitled is, whoa.
Yeah,
Brown,
sure.
Brown Sugar, ugh, like, ugh.
But that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, I think the thing with him is, like, he's one of those guys where if he features on something, I used to love that about music, where if there was artists and they featured on a track, you could trust their brand. Where you get that now. Features on that. Okay, I definitely need to check that.
There are some artists that I feel like that as well now.
I think there definitely are a few, but there was that whole era where it was just like the Raucous Records era and stuff like that, where it was like if Pharoah was on a track, if Pharoah Monch was on something, you knew instantly he was just gonna destroy it. It'd be like, Pharoah's on that, okay. Same with Mos Def.
It's the same. It's the same. As you said, Mos Def. I was gonna name Mos. Like, if I hear a Mos Def tune, a feature, guaranteeing it.
Yeah, for sure, man.
What was the tune? Is it Christian Dior Flow by Kanye West when he was doing Good Fridays? He was releasing a song every Friday.
Oh, yeah.
That was during My Dark Twisted Fantasy, and that was a little rollout. So he had Christian Dior Flow, and he had certain other tunes. He had a Mos Def tune, Mos Def feature. I forgot which tune it was, but he had Mos Def, like one of the good verses on there. Who else done something? That's like amazing. I don't know. There's so many other producers that got Dilla's influence, man. Kanye is one. Yeah, we cannot deny that. I cannot never deny that. If we didn't have a J Dilla, we would never have certain artists, you know.
No, of course, man. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? Is that because his music does run so deep, and just the idea that he died so young, and yet the amount of music that he made and the quality within it is just crazy. I mean, the idea that there's all these movements that he was so integral as part of, like Stone's Throw, like Raucous, like the Soulquarians, being part of the rise of all these different groups around him. Influencing people like like Questlove. I mean, there's like Questlove was talking about these moments where he'd sit in a room and it would be him and Dilla and D'Angelo and Primo or any of those guys.
Oh, Primo! I forgot about Primo too. Like, that era is incredible, bruv. Like, musically, it's incredible. Incredible.
That's times nuts though. I mean, like I interviewed Primo a few years ago, and he's one of those guys where he just stays true, and I think that's the thing about those guys.
That's another guy I would like to have a conversation with.
Yeah, because they've grown up with it. This is their life. There is no doubting it. They've watched the rise of this when it wasn't getting airplay, it wasn't cool, it wasn't a thing, and they've just ridden it, and they've just said, right, this is my life. People like KRS-One, it's like the whole thing that I saw him in Birmingham. Like, his son had died a few weeks beforehand, and he just came to Birmingham and just did this set where like he he just went off piste all the time. It was just like, oh, let's just play this beat, and like he was asking if there was any b-boys, and he was like, right, like let's make a circle,
Sure.
and getting all the b-boys to do stuff, and then getting people to freestyle and cypher, and like asking his DJ to just run beats back, and just that essence where you just think this is crazy. It's just another level.
That's mad.
You know, and it's like, but I think that's why I love that era the most, in that sense, where yeah, there are artists who I'm still excited about. You know, like I love people like Lay Full Stop. Like the music she is making is crazy, and like the I love Pitch 92 and like Mouse Outfit and all that lot. Like the stuff they're making is really, really nice. And you know, there's a lot of artists out there, like my friend Mecha83, who makes that kind of jazz inspired hip hop stuff, and so many artists who are doing all these amazing things. You know, like there's Joe Public, who just released this album called Stubborn Vectis, and like sick, like such a good album, you know. But there's all these things happening so much at a time, and you know, I've been really lucky in terms of wordplay that I've met so many people, and like quite a few of my heroes, and you know, doing all that side of things. But I love that about the scene. But there's definitely something about that time where it's almost like it developed these untouchables, where
Crazy.
there's some of the biggest, most influential people in music, irrespective of genres,
Dope.
that came out of that emerged. You know, I love that, man.
Yeah,
It's,
the early 90s, early 2000s hip hop.
yeah,
Just something about it. It's just
No,
something
for
about
sure.
it. And when people, if we had like certain people here, and just play tunes, we would just do a screw face on some of these, like like. And there's some people in this generation are keeping it going, and it's
Yeah.
good to see. So, yeah, man. So hopefully that keeps going, and I think it will always come back. It will come back.
Yeah,
It'll come back,
course.
man.
It's
Like,
got its roots
It's
bedded.
but it has to come back. Trends come in cycles,
Yeah.
so it's nothing new. But thank you for coming, bro.
Of course, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's like it's a quick history lesson, basically, of like certain things of music that people don't get to hear on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So people will be like, "Raw, this is another side of hip hop that are like, oh, I'm gonna check this out, whatever." So
yeah, but nah, it's cool. Thanks
Yeah,
for having me on, man.
yeah,
Like,
man.
It's just good to talk about good music, man.
definitely just anything like having a good conversation is always nice as well.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Kith and Kin podcast. You visuals come out Thursdays and Sundays. Obviously Instagram, Twitter, Kith and Kin pod. Won't be doing. I don't know if we're gonna do an episode next week, just because coronavirus and that. You know what I mean? The predicament's a bit mad right now. So for the next 2 weeks, I'm not too sure. But make sure to wash your hands. Do what you gotta do. Sanitizers, masks. I got my mask actually on my neck right here. As you can see, it's just hidden. But yeah, just make sure to keep yourself safe, and everything else. Work from home. What you gotta do. Let's actually stop this thing from happening. So wash hands and everything else. So yeah, you might get an episode next week. I'm not too sure. See how it goes. What else is there? Starting doing visual editing. So I'm kind of secretly doing that right now. So I'm kind of just here and there trying to build a portfolio and started it out. Thought about it. Just said, you know what? Let me try this. So that's coming sooner or later. So you want to plug anything?
Just yeah, man. I guess this album that I've been building. So like, yeah, Vice Beats, Dilla the Timeless Tribute. Like, check it out. It's genuinely for a good cause. And then yeah, I'm just at Vice Beats on Twitter. It's like Beats by Vice. I've just discovered Twitter again, man. I forgot about it. Hated it for a long time, and I was like, oh yeah, I need to do this again.
Yeah. That's
but yeah,
alright,
Vice
man.
Beats on Instagram, man, and just check the music out, man.
Yeah, definitely. The link for the Spotify will be in the description below, so everybody can go check that out. And obviously, just hopefully everybody can listen to it as well. I've listened to a few tunes, and yeah, I'm gonna have to listen to the whole project when I go on a trip tomorrow. But yeah, appreciate that. What else is there? Is there anything else? Yeah, keep washing your hands. Keep washing your hands.
That's a wrap.
Keep washing your hands. Don't put your hands on your face. Elbows. Use your elbows to handshake instead. We handshake before, but obviously we washed our hands earlier. What else is there? Yeah, just hopefully you enjoy. So peace out to the man one time. Peace.